Hello guys. Today, this is super late. We're gonna talk about Violent Night today. Now, before I say anything, this is the first time I've ever reviewed a movie that came out literally last year. What I mean by that is, I did Hocus Pocus that came out in '93, and I reviewed it, because it was released like a couple years ago. But this is kind of more of legit the first time where I watched a movie that was released in 20, like, for example, 2022, and released in 2022, but either I couldn't review it within the year or I saw it just right after it came out. It's kind of that weird spot right there. But technically, this is the first one I saw this year, even though it came out in 2022, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's why this is a lot later than it was. Me and Corey, like, we're originally going to see it Christmas night or whatever, but we got back so late that. And we did get to see it, like, past, definitely. We got to see it, like, a couple days ago, so it's whatever with that. But yeah, we'll get talk about this. This came out, like I said, 2022. It's rated R. It's an hour 52 long. It has 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb with about 46,000 ish user votes. The movie's directed by Tommy Wirkola, who did what else did he do? Oh, I know his work. He did the Dead Snow movies. I love the Dead Snow movies. That is something I need to do in the future. I can't believe I haven't talked about the Dead Snow movies. The movie does stars David Harbour, who we know from Stranger Things. He's good and John Leguizamo, who was in what was it was shoot Land of the Dead. Land of the Dead. That's what I remember. And on Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 74% by critics with 197 critics and 88% by audiences with about 1,000-ish audience people. The critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is Violent Night isn't as wildly entertaining as its concept might suggest, but for those seeking harder edge holiday fare, it may be a whole lot of fun. Jeez. Audience says it could have taken its cool concept even further, but Violent Night is still a funny, gory, good time, and David Harbour is terrific as a Santa you won't want to mess with. Alright, so first of all, I don't get the idea, oh, it could have taken it further. I don't quite get that when I watch this movie. I don't know what further they mean by it. Like, more violent, more humor. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something from it. The trailers deliver on exactly what you expect. First of all, what is this movie about? Well, David Harbour plays Santa Claus, and it's just a Christmas, and he's kind of starting to kind of get worn down by some cynicism. All these kids, they just want gift cards, video games. There's a very lack of heart in Christmas, and it's just not cut. He's just having a hard time dealing with it. And he gets tied into, because what happens was there's this family, this rich family, and they have a little girl, and they're visiting Christmas, and they get freaking hijacked by thieves looking to steal, and there's some hidden shit there that the movie reveals later on. But anyway, Santa happens to be visiting the family when all this happens, like giving present stuff, and he gets like tied into this, and it's pretty much Die Hard. And they even make a joke in the movie about Die Hard. But yeah, it becomes that. Because Santa has to save the family, specifically a little girl that he kind of talks to a little bit. It's shown in a trailer. This isn't spoilers or anything. And he helps them, whatever. So this movie is really cool. First of all, it is hilarious. It is hilarious. It delivers on the hilarity and the violence, but at the same time, it does legit feel like a Christmas movie. Like David Harbour, this is probably, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of my personal favorite performances of Santa Claus, because he does something with this role that none of the other roles, good or bad, like do. It makes him feel like a legit person. Because Santa is such, like, he's a figure. He's kind of seen as a figure, like this all-knowing, like, wise beyond his years kind of thing. Like, kind of almost godlike to a degree. And I mean, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, that one was close to doing what this movie does, but that franchise is a lot more tame and PG in that way. So it's still kind of that, but it touches on it there. But this one, you legit feel like this is just a guy that just is Santa Claus, and he makes him so relatable. He makes him so humorous, so cynical, violent, and maybe even a little vulgar, but he feels like a legit like human being. And the movie does a great job exploring him a bit too. And I'm not gonna say stuff like that or give away spoilers or anything like that. But this, like, if you want to watch a movie about Santa Claus as like a legit human being and not just a figure, as kind of a figure of Christmas, this is a great movie for that. Like, for sure. Now, are there any cons in this movie? There's not really. I think this was chosen on purpose and it does work, but there is a lot of like lines and stuff that are kind of campy, pun intended, campy and a little, I wouldn't say cliche, but you could tell they were kind of going for a tone and a frame of mind with the movie that is very familiar in terms of like actiony and whatever. Definitely cheese. They know they were going for cheese, and that might not be for everyone. Some of that cheesy stuff, some people either they don't like cheese or it's the cheese they kind of seen before. And I will say that the movie does kind of borderline that a little bit at times. It doesn't hurt the film, but it could make some people not like it as much as they could have. But overall, this is a really solid film. I did hear they were making a sequel to this, and I'm really excited for that. I would love to see a sequel to this movie. Because I feel like I would legit like this more of this world and this Santa. I really legit do feel like this is a really good retelling of, not retelling, but a good version of Santa Claus, you know? And it'd be really cool to see more of that. But yeah, it further shows, this is also one of those movies that you could tell is an actor, like, ride movie. It's one of those movies that its main purpose is to kind of, an actor and actress is like super popular from a specific thing, so they create like a vehicle for them to kind of showcase them in a role that's kind of similar to the role they were popular with. This is kind of one for David Harbour because of Stranger Things. And his Santa, I'm not saying it's exactly like his character in Stranger Things, but the mannerisms, the way he talks and stuff, it definitely feels like this is him, like, being that kind of character, that kind of good guy character that he's known for. And the thing is, this guy, he's played some bad guys too, like some really like bad guys too. So this guy has some range with him. But that's the kind of role he's playing here. So this is definitely a David Harbour vehicle film. So that's just also something to keep in mind as well. And it does a great job of it, but that's the kind of film it is for this guy here. But yeah, I enjoyed this film a lot. I thought it was a really good, solid Christmas film. I saw a lot of good Christmas films, and it also kind of pisses me off because the whole theme of December was like Christmas movies, and if I just watched this like in December, I could have added this along with all that for Fen Recommends. But Fen Recommends, this is different, so it's whatever. But yeah, this is a really solid film. I do recommend checking this out. Now, at this point, it's probably not going to be in theaters at this point. And if it was, you're going to be probably one of the only ones still watching it in theater. So once it goes free to watch, definitely watch it. But yeah, this is like a Christmas movie. So this is something, unless you're a type of person that likes to watch Christmas stuff year round or whatever time of the year, this is definitely something that you might wait on until when it gets closer to Christmas again, which is fine. But yeah, this is a really good movie. Definitely a recommend for sure. Especially people who want a Christmas movie but want something different. Something a little fresh. This is definitely one of those films for sure, at least in my opinion. But yeah, guys, definitely check it out. But yeah, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab in our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.